We've landed on the NL Central, and to help us kind of navigate the names on this list, we mentioned there's some pretty good pitching here. We welcome MLB Pipeline senior writer Jonathan Mayo. Jonathan, good morning. Let's dig right in here with Reds right-hander Chase Burns, one of the harder throwers in the group.
Yeah, did you guys see his spring training debut? I mean, it's kind of what he's all about, up to
he was burning
100 miles an hour. You know, struck out the side. He is a very, very impressive starting pitching prospect. Obviously, that's why the Reds took him at number 2 overall. He struck out 17.2 per 9 at Wake Forest. The slider, 4% miss rate. So between the fastball and the slider, but he's got a 4-pitch mix. I think the biggest thing we're going to have to see is if he throws enough strikes. That was a problem for him early in his college career. Made a lot of adjustments at Wake Forest, threw a lot more strikes. I think he's going to be pretty quick to the big leagues, sort of like Rhett Lauder was for them a year ago.
Ooh, that'd be really exciting. We like those quick to the big league stories. So from the number 2 overall to the number 1 overall, we're talking about Travis Bazzana. Guardians' future is bright for him. What do fans need to know about the former number 1 overall?
That he can really, really, really hit. I mean, I think we put a 70 on his hit tool. He's one of the better pure college hitters we've seen in quite some time. And it comes with some pop. He's a second baseman only. I don't know that the defense is ever going to wow anybody, but it's such a quick bat. There's a ton of power. You know, this is a guy who hit 28 homers last year at Oregon State, hit over 400. So it's a pure hit tool. There's plenty of power. He can run. He's going to be good enough at second base. Again, another guy who probably send a Double-A to start and just let him go from there and don't create any huge obstacles for him at second base.
Yeah, Jonathan, what's cool, too, is they're bringing a lot of these guys to big league camps already. Like, that was a big league home run. We got a chance to see Bazzana hit. I think that's great what the organizations are doing.
No, I absolutely. Even if they're just bringing them over and they're not officially in big league camp, a lot of times you see the top college first rounders get some time. And I think, especially for these guys who are going to be kind of fast tracked, and in these spring breakout games, you're going to get to see a whole lot of 2024 draftees kind of not make their official debuts, because as you said, Harold, a lot of these guys have played in some Cactus League or Grapefruit League games, but more on a national stage that this spring breakout format gives them. They're really introducing themselves to a wider audience for the first time.
I know we're talking about the NL Central here. Here's a guy that used to play for an NL Central organization. How fast is the track for Cam Smith, the big player, big dude, by the way, that the Astros got back in the Kyle Tucker deal with the Cubs?
Well, if he keeps hitting bombs in big league games, probably pretty quick. Obviously, they also got Isaac Paredes in that trade, so there's no need to rush Cam Smith. But, you know, first rounder for the Cubs last year. You see there the power the other way. He can hit it out to all fields. This is a guy, the one sort of knock about him as a hitter, because he's a really good pure hitter given his size, that he hit the ball on the ground too much. So all he did is go out and hit a bunch of homers during his summer debut last year. He's got 2 in big league camp now. He's going to force their hand to make the decision really difficult. They're going to have to try to figure out a way to get his bat into the lineup. I think it's going to be ready at some point this year. It's just going to be a question of where that opportunity is going to come, because he is a third baseman only, at least so far.
Big dude, exciting player. We've talked a little bit already on this program about Jac Caglianone. And Harold and I were talking during the commercial, Jonathan, like, Harold's pretty firm that they're going to have to find a place for him to play as soon as this year. What's the realistic timeline for his arrival in the big leagues?
You know, they'll have to find the space. Otherwise, it could be now, it could be May, it could be June. You know, I saw him in the fall league. The bat is going to work. He's this crazy combination. He chases a lot out of the zone, or at least did in college, but doesn't swing and miss. And for a guy with that kind of power, not swing and miss, once he starts laying off the pitches outside of the zone, you know, he's always going to have some chase rates. But I like what Vinny said, because he is an enormous human being. You see the height and weight on paper, and you think, oh, that's a big guy. And then you meet him, and he is enormous. And Vinny's not exactly tiny. So the fact that stood out to him, he can really, really hit. I'm kind of glad they put the pitching to rest. There were some elbow issues there anyway. And that bat's going to be ready very quickly. And whenever they decide they want to pull the trigger and bring him up is when that time will come.
Can he play anywhere other than first base? Could he play the outfield?
You know, he's not unathletic. He's just never done it. So you know, I think they'd want to get him some reps if they wanted to try to do that. You know, he probably could handle that field. You know about the plus arm. It probably would play from out there. It just, I don't think you want to do that as an experiment in Kansas City for the first time. So I haven't heard any talk, but I'll be in Royals camp in a few days. So I'll ask around and see if he's shagging any fly balls out there.
I know they kind of had him put the pitching aside because of the quick to the big leagues, but will we ever see him maybe pitch?
I don't think so. You know, he's probably a relief pitcher if they were going to do it. The command was never there. You know, he had Tommy John surgery. I think there were some concerns that the elbow isn't great, and in terms of if they were going to really have him do a lot of reps off the mound, that he might get hurt again. So if I were to guess right now, I don't think you're ever going to see him pitch in the big leagues.
Great insights from MLB Pipeline senior writer Jonathan Mayo. As always, Jonathan, thanks for the time.
Thanks, guys.